Twilight Registry. Case file TR6621. Anomaly classification. Reflective entity. Stage 3. You have been standing in front of this mirror your entire life, since you were small enough to press your nose against the glass and fog it with your breath, since you learned to read your own expression as a kind of weather. Happy, nervous, lying, afraid. You have used your reflection the way most people use a clock, as a way to orient yourself in the world. The first morning, it did not move with you. You told yourself you imagined it. This is how these things begin, not with screaming, not with blood on the walls. They begin with a moment small enough to explain away, and the explanation feels so reasonable that you reach for it the way you reach for a glass of water in the dark, automatically, without looking. You had just woken up. You are standing at the bathroom sink, face unwashed, that particular kind of exhausted that settles behind the eyes like filth. You lifted your hand to rub your jaw, and in the mirror, you watched your reflection lift its hand 1 second later. 1 second. You stood very still. You watched your reflection stand very still. The lag closed. It looked back at you the way you have always looked back at yourself. Tired, vaguely troubled, present. You blinked. It blinked. You told yourself it was the light. This is what the Twilight Registry calls the first denial window. The period of approximately 12 to 72 hours during which the subject actively constructs rational frameworks to contain an anomaly that does not fit any rational framework. The window exists not because subjects are stupid. It exists because the alternative, acknowledging what they have actually seen, requires a restructuring of reality, so total, so disorienting, that the mind simply refuses to begin. The registry has documented 47 cases, with profiles identical to yours. 46 of them passed through the first denial window without recording what they saw. One subject, a 43-year-old school teacher named Mira Voss, kept a journal. What you are hearing now is partially reconstructed from that journal, partially from her testimony, and partially from the footage recovered from a home security camera she installed in her bathroom on day 4 of the anomaly. She wrote on the first night, "The reflection had a delay. I'm sure it was the light. I'm sure it was tired eyes. I'm going to sleep. And tomorrow it will be fine." It was not fine. Day 2. The delay had shortened. It was no longer a full second. It was a fraction of a second. The kind of thing you would miss if you were not already watching for it. Mira was already watching for it. She stood at the sink each morning with the precise vigilance of a person who suspects they are being deceived, though she could not yet name what the deception was. That afternoon, she caught something else. She was in the kitchen, passing the small decorative mirror that hung beside the door, the one with the beveled edge that had been in the house when she moved in, that she had never thought to replace. She walked past without stopping. She did not slow down, did not turn her head. In her peripheral vision, she saw her reflection turn to watch her pass. She kept walking. She went to the kitchen table and sat down. She did not go back to look. She wrote, "I'm not looking at it again today. It can watch the empty wall." Day 3. The blinking stopped. This is the detail that breaks most subjects' denial. Until this point, almost every subject who experiences the anomaly can maintain the explanation of optical illusion. Pareidolia, exhaustion-driven perceptual drift. The lag can be explained. The peripheral movement can be explained. But a reflection that has stopped blinking, that stands behind the glass and stares with open, unblinking eyes while you blink normally, cannot be explained. The human eye cannot stop blinking through will alone. Blinking is not a choice, which means the reflection is not simply lagging, it is doing something different. It has its own agenda for its eyes. Mira wrote, "I stood there for 6 full minutes today counting. I blinked 14 times. It blinked 0. It just looked at me. At the end of the 6 minutes, it smiled. Not a big smile. Not a smile for me. A smile like someone sitting in the back of a dark theater who has recognized something on stage that no one else has noticed." She installed the camera that night. The footage from day 4 shows Mira entering the bathroom at 6:42 in the morning, moving through her ordinary routine. Water on, face washed, towel lifted, towel replaced. The reflection in the mirror does all of these things too, with the small delay that has become its signature. A half beat behind, like a slow translation. But at 6:51, when Mira turns away from the mirror and reaches for her toothbrush, the camera captures something. The reflection does not turn away. It stands at the glass and watches Mira's back. It watches her brush her teeth facing the opposite wall. It watches her with the stillness of something that has been waiting a very long time for her to stop looking. When she turns back, it turns too, already in position, perfectly synchronized, as if it never stopped. Mira wrote nothing that night. The journal entry is a blank page with a date at the top, and the date is circled 3 times. Day 5. Mira moved the bathroom mirror into the garage and replaced it with a small, handheld compact she kept closed when not in use. She did not install mirrors in any other room. She taped dark paper over the sliding glass door that had been acting as a reflective surface at night. She threw away the decorative mirror by the kitchen door without looking at it, carrying it outside with her eyes turned down. For 4 days, nothing happened. She could not confirm whether the anomaly had transferred to other reflective surfaces because she was not looking at them. The compact stayed shut. She reported feeling watched, not in the specific, sourceable way, not from a particular corner of a room or from a window, in the distributed way, the way you feel when something is behind your eyes rather than in front of them. On day 9, she made the mistake of looking into a window after dark. She was in the kitchen, past midnight, the lights on inside, and nothing but blackness outside. And she looked up, and the window gave her that symbol. Then the reflection was standing 3 inches closer to the glass than she was standing from the window. She stepped back. The reflection did not step back. She turned off the kitchen light. She wrote, "It is not in the mirror. It was never in the mirror. The mirror was just where it was standing when I happened to look." This is the moment the Twilight Registry marks as Stage 3. Stage 1 is the lag, the first evidence of independent timing. Stage 2 is the divergence, blinking, turning, expressions that do not match. Stage 3 is the closing. In 41 of the 47 documented cases, Stage 3 is the last phase recorded by the primary witness. This is not because the witnesses are harmed. It is because they stop reporting. They stop keeping journals. They stop answering calls from the registry's contact line. They continue to be seen by neighbors, by coworkers, by friends who remark that they seem a little different lately. Quieter, perhaps. More interior. A subtle shift in the eyes. In the remaining 6 cases, the primary witness filed a final report. 5 of those reports contained the same sentence. 5 different people, in 5 different places, over the span of 11 years, wrote the same thing in their final report. It asked me not to leave. The 6th report, the most recent, filed 14 months ago, from a subject whose name the registry is not authorized to disclose, contained only a photograph, a bathroom mirror, an empty room, a reflection that showed a figure standing where no figure stood. The photograph was taken with the subject's own phone. The phone was found on the bathroom floor. The subject had not gone anywhere. Their belongings were all present. Their car was in the driveway. Their coffee was still warm on the kitchen counter. They simply were not in the room. But something was. Something stood inside the mirror, looking out at the bathroom, at the camera, at whoever would eventually find the photograph. Something that had the subject's face. Something that, in the way its shoulders were held, in the slight tilt of its head, in the quality of its stillness, did not look like a person who had recently arrived. It looked like a person who had finally come home. Twilight Registry. Case file TR6621. Status: open. Primary witness guest: unlocated. Reflective anomaly: unresolved. Recommendation: if you are experiencing lag in your own reflection, if it blinks at the wrong time or does not blink at all, or if you have caught it watching your back when you thought you were alone, do not cover the mirrors. Covering the mirrors only tells it you know it's there. And the thing about Stage 3 is this: it was always going to close the distance. All you did, by looking away, was give it time to practice being you.